If you've ever come across Liberty $half in your collection, or even lying around in your old change box you might be sitting on, something much more valuable than 50 cents. Yes, this coin might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the end of this video because we'll talk about its current value according to eBay and other major online auction platforms, and how you can actually sell it for real money. The 1990 Liberty $half, more commonly known as the Kennedy $half, holds a special place in American coinage history. It was first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, and even decades later, this coin remains a symbol of patriotism, legacy, and American pride. By 1990, the Kennedy $half had become one of the most recognized coins across the world, not just because of its design, but also because of the value collectors associate with it. The obverse of the coin features the elegant portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, showing his dignified profile that has inspired collectors since the very first issue. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's design proudly displays the presidential seal and eagle clutching olive branches, and arrows symbolizing both peace and strength. The words United States of America and $half complete the design, giving it a sense of prestige and national honor. The 1990 Liberty $half was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. The ones from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while the Denver coins carry a small D beneath Kennedy's neck. The total mintage for that year exceeded 40 million coins, so most were intended for circulation. However, what truly makes some of these coins valuable are rare errors, mint condition grades, and special proof issues. From the San Francisco Mint, let's get into the exciting part: the worth. On platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections, circulated 1990 $half generally sell for around $1 to $3 depending on their condition. But when you move into higher grade territory, coins that have been well preserved, uncirculated, or graded by PCGS or NGC as MS65 or higher, their prices start to climb significantly. Many collectors are willing to pay between $15 and $50 for pristine examples with sharp strikes and bright luster. The real treasure lies in the proofs and mint era coins. The 1990s proof coins, struck with mirror-like surfaces for collectors, often fetch between $20 and $100 depending on the clarity of the strike and preservation. But some rare varieties and errors such as double die reverses, off-center strikes, or planchette flaws have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, a flawless proof 1990s Kennedy $half once sold for over $2,000 at auction due to its perfect PR70 deep cameo grade, making it one of the most desirable coins from that period. Beyond the money, the 1990 $half also tells a story of changing times in U.S. If you've ever found a 1977 Liberty $half tucked away in an old wallet, handed to you in change, or sitting quietly in your coin jar, don't overlook it, because this ordinary-looking coin might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the end of this video to learn its real worth, according to eBay and other major online auction platforms, and find out exactly how you can sell yours for maximum value. The 1977 Liberty $half, more widely known as the Kennedy $half, carries with it more than just monetary value. It's a piece of American legacy. Introduced in 1964 to commemorate President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, the coin quickly became a symbol of national pride and remembrance. By the time the 1977 version was minted, the Kennedy $half had already become one of the most collected and admired coins in the United States. This coin was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Denver issue showing a small D mint mark below Kennedy's neck. There were also special proof versions made at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. While the general circulation coins are common, certain high-grade or error pieces have achieved impressive prices in recent years. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' iconic portrait of President Kennedy designed with incredible attention to detail, while the reverse showcases Frank Gasparo's majestic depiction of the presidential seal and eagle with outstretched wings holding olive branches and arrows, surrounded by 50 stars representing the states. Together, they make this coin one of the most beautiful and meaningful designs in American coinage. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1977 $half so interesting for collectors today. Though most 1977 $half were made from a copper nickel-clad composition rather than silver, collectors value them for their history, design, and potential minting anomalies. These coins were struck in large numbers, but not all were treated equally, and that's where things get fascinating. On platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections, the value of a 1977 half-dollar can vary significantly depending on condition and rarity. A circulated coin generally sells between 75 cents and $2, but coins in uncirculated mint state, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50. The real stars of the show are the proofs and rare error coins, which can go far beyond those numbers. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, with their mirror-like surfaces and crisp details, often sell between $15 and $80 depending on grade and preservation. Some of these have been certified PR69 or PR70 deep cameo by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, fetching prices up to $250 or more. However, the biggest surprises come from error coins, those with double strikes, off-center designs, or die breaks. Some 1977 Kennedy half-dollars with unique minting errors have sold. What if I told you that the 1982 Liberty half-dollar sitting in your collection or drawer could be the coin that completely turns the tables for you? Many people walk past this coin without realizing that it might hold hidden value that could surprise even the most experienced collectors. If you have this coin, you might be holding a small piece of American history that's worth far more than its face value. Stick around till the end of the video to learn how valuable it truly is and how you can sell it for the best price. The 1982 Liberty half-dollar carries a unique story in the timeline of U.S. coinage. During the early 1980s, the United States Mint was going through major changes, advancing technology, shifting metal compositions, and responding to the growing demand for collectible coins. The half-dollar had already established itself as one of America's most iconic coins, featuring the proud image of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse. But 1982 was a special year because it marked a period when the mint briefly stopped producing half-dollars for circulation, making some versions harder to find and more collectible today. The 1982 half-dollar was minted in Philadelphia and Denver with the famous B&D marks. While millions were produced, many never entered general circulation. Instead, they were stored, hoarded, or melted down over time. Because of this, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is far rarer than most people think. Collectors today look for coins with a sharp strike, full luster, and no signs of wear. These are the ones that fetch strong prices in the numismatic market. Now, let's talk about what makes some 1982 half-dollars truly special. A few coins from this year feature striking errors, such as off-center minting, double die obverse, or missing mint marks. These small details can transform a common coin into a rare collector's item worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The value also depends heavily on the coin's condition. Proof-like or high-grade examples certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC can easily attract premium buyers. What's fascinating about the 1982 Liberty half-dollar is how it represents a turning point in coin production and collecting. The U.S. Mint was experimenting with production efficiency, meaning certain dies and batches produced coins with subtle variations. For collectors, those variations are goldmines. Each one tells a story about the technology, craftsmanship, and historical events of that era, capturing a moment when America was shifting economically and politically. So, before you toss that 1982 half-dollar aside thinking it's just another ordinary coin, take a closer look. That simple coin might be your hidden treasure, waiting to reveal its true worth. Comment price in the comment box, and I'll tell you exactly how much your 1982 Liberty half-dollar could be worth today and guide you on the selling process. Today we're diving deep into the mesmerizing and emotional history of the 1980 half-dollar, a coin that doesn't just shine in your hand, it carries the spirit of an era, the memory of a leader, and the legacy of American pride. And believe me, by the end of this story, you'll never look at a half-dollar the same way again. The 1980 half-dollar, also known as the Kennedy half-dollar, stands as one of the most iconic coins in the history of the United States Mint. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a living monument to President John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, whose sudden death in 1963 left the world in shock and sorrow. This coin, born out of grief and admiration, became one of the most beloved designs ever struck by the U.S. Mint. To understand the 1980 half-dollar, we must first journey back to the moment of its creation. In late November 1963, after the tragic assassination of Kennedy, there was an overwhelming demand from the American people to honor him. Within weeks, plans were set in motion to place his image on a coin, something that had never happened so quickly before. The half-dollar denomination was chosen as it was a coin associated with prestige and respect. The design came together swiftly. Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the mint, crafted the portrait of Kennedy that graces the obverse side. It's based on a presidential medal he had designed earlier that same year, capturing Kennedy's determination and grace. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo, another master engraver, designed the elegant presidential seal, an eagle holding arrows and an olive branch surrounded by 50 stars. Together, these designs made the coin not just currency but a symbol of remembrance. Fast forward to 1980, the Kennedy half-dollar had already been in circulation for 16 years, but this particular year marked a transformation. By 1980, silver was no longer used in these coins. Instead, the half-dollar was made of copper-nickel clad composition, a durable blend of metals designed to shine bright while withstanding the test of time. The 1980 half-dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The San Francisco Mint produced the brilliant proof versions, crafted especially for collectors. The Philadelphia and Denver Mints, meanwhile, produced coins for circulation, but even among these, rare varieties and sharp strikes made some stand out as collectors' treasures. What makes this coin fascinating is its cultural significance. By 1980, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer widely used in daily transactions. People had started keeping them as keepsake souvenirs, or tributes to a time of hope and idealism. To hold one was to hold on to the dream of Camelot, that brief golden era of American optimism, led by John F. Kennedy. The 1989 Liberty half-dollar belongs to the Kennedy half-dollar series, first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy. By 1989, this iconic coin had already become a major piece of American history. It was minted in 2 main places that year: Philadelphia, without a mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small D under Kennedy's neck. Both versions were struck in a copper-nickel composition, with proof versions specially made in San Francisco for collectors. Even though millions were produced, not all 1989 halves are equal in value. The rare errors and pristine conditions make all the difference. What sets the 1989 Liberty half-dollar apart isn't just its historical significance but the fascinating minting variations that occurred that year. Some coins were struck off-center, while others showed double die errors where Kennedy's face, lettering, or date appear slightly doubled. These errors are extremely valuable to collectors because they're one-of-a-kind pieces that never repeat. One of these double die error coins once sold online for more than $700, simply because of its minting flaw. Another key factor that increases this coin's value is its condition. Collectors classify coins using the Sheldon scale, a grading system that ranges from poor to mint state. 70. A 1989 Liberty half-dollar in circulated condition might fetch between $2 and $10 on eBay, but if it's in uncirculated or proof condition, its price skyrockets. High-grade examples graded MS67 or MS68 have sold in auctions for anywhere between $300 to $1,000, depending on the strike, quality, and overall appearance. What many people overlook is the growing collector interest in late 20th century half-dollars. For decades, the 1989 Kennedy halves were thought to have little value, but now, with the rising popularity of coin collecting online, even modern issues are gaining attention. Collectors appreciate this coin not only for its design, but also for being one of the last decades where half-dollars were commonly circulated. Today, many of these coins are disappearing into private collections, which increases their scarcity on the open market. eBay listings show that 1989 Liberty half-dollars in near-perfect condition or with certification from PCGS or NGC often sell for between $200 and $750. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially those with mirror-like surfaces and deep cameo contrast, can bring $500 or more depending on the demand and the beer's enthusiasm. Some special lots, particularly when bundled with other Kennedy halves or error coins, have even exceeded $1,200 at auctions. Beyond its monetary value, the 1989 Liberty half-dollar is a symbol of American pride and remembrance. The detailed portrait of Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, and the reverse side featuring the presidential seal by Frank Gasparo. Both remind collectors of a powerful chapter in history. Owning this coin means holding a small piece of the American story.